The Business Report, brought to you with the compliments of Signia Financial Group Incorporated. Quality solutions for your financial needs.
At a time when fire safety for properties continues to be a major buzz phrase for businesses and homeowners, a local company with regional reach is continuing to set a very high standard for both fire safety and security. Ryan Broom has more.
Curry is a general manager of Regional Fire and Security, or RFS Barbados Limited, located at Factory Yard, Fair Pilgrim, Christchurch. The company employs 25 people in total, but also works with specialty subcontractors as needed. Mr. Curry gave some insight into the company's origins.
Well, the company started in 2001. It was actually part of the Safety Supply Group out of Trinidad. We registered a company up here in 2001. What we saw at the time was a niche in the island for better fire and security protection. And as a result of that, we opened up here. We opened actually up in the Bell in September of 2001 and have been growing since then. We started off with small fire extinguishers and safety, and we have actually morphed into a full range of fire alarms, fire security, sprinkler systems and so forth needs. But basically as a result of seeing that niche and seeing a lack of fire protection, adequate fire protection in the local market.
He says the bulk of the company's business is on the commercial side, with about 80% commercial versus residential, and their clients list is a long one, including popular hotels, restaurants, banks, and supermarkets, just to name a few. Mr. Curry identified what he sees as the main elements that help RFS to stand out from others in related fields.
As it is right now, we are the only company on island that does full fire and security. So we really don't have a perceived competitor. There are lots of competitors, but there's no one competitor because nobody else does fire extinguishers and fire alarms, sprinklers and CCTV, access control and so forth. Companies do pieces, but we're the only one that can go into your business or residence and carry out a complete list of work for you that when you leave, you know you're fully protected.
He also talked about what's usually involved in responding to the needs of a prospective client.
Well, normally a client will contact us and request a visitation for a proposal. They will usually give us a brief of what they're looking for. Sometimes we actually have to ask them a number of questions to really get an understanding of their business or their requirements. We will then schedule an appointment to come and see them. We actually go out in the field, visit them. It's a free visitation, at which time then we are better able to compile their needs. We come back in the office, we will put together a proposal, then we do a submission to them. Usually we will follow it out with ongoing discussions to make sure they understand what it is we're looking at offering. And as the usual saying, going comparing apples and apples if there are other persons that they're looking at.
And as in many fields, there are often associated myths. Mr. Curry tackled one common myth regarding some fire equipment.
Some persons believe that because the fire service comes and checks, that is a validation that the fire equipment is actually okay. What really happens is that it's a third-party company normally is needed to come in. It's not only our company will come and will actually service the fire equipment. Extinguishers in particular need to be hydro tested after a period of time to make sure the shells are intact, all the hoses are correct, the pressure is correct. That is what we will actually do when we certify. The fire service really only comes in to revalidate that, okay, you have extinguishers in the correct locations. So there is a misconception the fire service does the servicing. They're actually only there to make sure that you actually have fire equipment, but it's up to the business owner to make sure that their fire equipment is operational.
Still, he believes Barbados has come a long way in terms of fire safety and security.
In 16 years, we have come leaps and bounds. What was a misconception of, oh, it really never happens here, and we had just a few fire extinguishers. We are seeing a lot more persons are aware of fire preparedness, whether it is the fire extinguishers, fire alarm, fire sprinklers and suppression systems. And not only that, but also aware of what they have that is maintained. A lot of times that was also not the case, it was not being properly maintained. So we have come leaps and bounds. We have a lot of persons coming in who've actually gone overseas for studying or through traveling, are more aware of fire protection. And it's not something which is hidden now behind a door or under a cupboard. It's actually more in the forefront, so people are aware of what's going on.
He says going forward, they will continue to enhance their products and maintain the highest standard possible. Reflecting on the recent tragic fire in London, Mr. Curry says issues related to building codes and standards must remain at the forefront of fire safety in general.
Aesthetics is one part of the thing. It's okay to have a pleasing looking building, but when you have persons in it, you also have to make sure that the fire protection, life safety is critical. What we take a look at with a lot of multi-story buildings is that the cores are fireproof, which means that if there is an emergency or a fire, persons can get to the core to evacuate the building, and that area is actually properly protected. This is stuff which is now more prevalent. We see the fire service is very, very more aware of it. Hopefully with more enforcement of codes, fire and building codes, we will see greater understanding going forward.
RFS presently also has offices in St. Lucia, Trinidad and Tobago, and Grenada, and is exploring the possibility of establishing another one in Guyana. Ryan Broom for the Business Report.
Thanks, Ryan. Time now to take a look at how stocks traded on selected exchanges across the region.
In Jamaica, Proven Investments Limited JMD was the volume leader with 550,000 units, followed by Scotia Group Jamaica Limited and JMMB Group Limited. In Trinidad and Tobago NGL Limited was the volume leader with 6,575 shares valued at $141,247.50, followed by NCB Financial Group Limited and Scotia Investments Jamaica Limited. And in Barbados, First Caribbean International Bank was the volume leader, trading 86,536 shares at $2.50 each, and they were followed by the Insurance Corporation of Barbados Limited and Goddard Enterprises Limited.